There's this idea floating around out there that pervades the nightmares of most conspiracy theorists that somewhere far away there's this technologically advanced lab, and in it stands a man in a suit who has a tablet in his hand. And he's looking at an image controlling a bunch of satellites circling the globe, and those satellites are sending down secret signals into the minds of everyone. And he is in control. Everything that happens has long been planned out, and his job today was just to go execute order number whatever, so that the long-term continued plan of the globalists or the Illuminati or whoever can come to fruition. Now, for some, it's less a nightmare and more a dream, in the sense that it absolves them of any of their choices, bad or good. When bad things happen, of course, it was the Illuminati's fault. And if good things happen, well, it's just random chance. It's just counting down until the next bad thing happens, the next war, the next conflict, the next time when they can infect the minds of people and make them angry and make them shoot at each other for absolutely no reason whatsoever other than the grand plan. The great plan. They're taking advantage of this desire for people to take in as much possible information as they can, regardless of whether they can process the information or not. Take in as much as you can, stay awake as long as you can, keep your phone by the bed, check it multiple times a night, and suck in all that information. But you make the decision for yourself. You just take in the raw data and you process it. And then whatever shows up the next day in your behavior or in your attitudes and your beliefs, it's 100% you. Because you're in control. You see, that's the crazy part. In today's video, I wanted to show how easy it is to find contradictions. This is pardon me, the screen refreshed. DARPA N3 developed non-surgical brain machine interfaces for soldiers to use their thoughts alone to control multiple unmanned vehicles or bomb disposal robot on a battlefield. 13 February 2021. This is how easy it is to find articles talking about controlling aircraft and tanks and bombs and all of these destructive things with your mind. You see, when it's DARPA, it's advances. Over the past 18 years, DARPA has demonstrated increasingly sophisticated neurotechnologies that rely on surgically implanted electrodes to interface with the central or peripheral nervous system. And it's all wonderful and positive and upbeat. And how we'll need fewer and fewer soldiers to control more and more destructive power. However, then we just flip over to the register, 17 December 2021, U.S. Commerce Department says China has brain control weaponry. The U.S. has added another 37 organizations, 34 of them from China, to its list of businesses with which, pay attention here, U.S. interests can't interact without a license. Not U.S. businesses. U.S. interests, meaning anyone who deals with the U.S. needs to come to the U.S. and get a license from us to even deal with any of these organizations doing the exact same thing we're doing out in the open. 12 of them earning the place for developing this distinction, mind control weapons. No, let's just go back here. What was the title of this article? DARPA. Non-surgical brain machine interfaces for soldiers to use their thoughts alone to control multiple unmanned vehicles. We sanction China for doing exactly what we're doing and bragging about it. I'll give you these two articles down in the first pinned comment. We sanction China and our allies, anyone who wants to do business with us, for doing the exact same thing we're doing. It's unbelievable. Another great example of this is precious metals and cryptocurrency. How many years did we see? Gold's never been worth zero. Buy silver. It's a hedge against inflation. Buy cryptocurrency. When things get bad, you'll be glad you did. Things are bad. Things are bad. 16 September 2022, gold plummets to 2-year low. The price drop is attributed to a rise in U.S. inflation caused by what? Caused by policies of the Fed. But wait a minute, I thought precious metals were immune. That's why you buy gold, buy physical gold. It's ridiculous. Bitcoin, gone, off its highs. 75% now almost. And as soon as the Fed makes their new announcement, about another 100 basis points, toast. And all of you silver lovers, this is silver over the last year. This time last year it was 24, now it's 20. So tell me, where's your great hedge against inflation? Where's your safe haven during the storms of dark times that are coming when Joe Biden's in charge? If you would like to get a handle on your mind, a handle on your ability to see things clearly, join us over at the Patreon channel, because there is a way to fight this. There is a way to defeat the mind control and an ability to regain your focus and be able to see through the nonsense. Many people laughed at me when I said cryptocurrency was going to crash. I called it last Christmas. Cryptocurrency was up in the 50s. And I said, get out of it. Get out of it now. You're going to lose everything. Oh, ha, 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 McKee. It's just a short-term dip. It'll be fine. We're going to buy the dip no matter what. It's September. That was Christmas last year. And it collapsed in an epic way, and it's not coming back anytime soon. Of course, all of the precious metals people had to waggle their high-minded, haughty little fingers at the crypto folks and say, you idiots, you shouldn't have done that. That was coming just later on. It just took longer. Gold's at a 2-year low. Silver's down 20%. What's the key? What's the real value? What's the way to beat the mind control? You see, it's this idea of things always being predictable, certain, uncomplex, and unambiguous that people get addicted to. It's the thing that if you've ever encountered somebody with autism or Asperger's, they have to be able to predict everything in their lives. And if they can't predict or see anything in their lives for sure, they can't handle it. It's one of the nasty effects of the internet. The best thing you can have in your life is someone who you can't predict. And someone that can't predict you all the time, i.e. a man and a woman. This is some of the advice that I've given that a lot of people have said is really sketchy. If you really want to survive going forward, have those around you don't entirely get. You don't entirely understand, and I do mean the opposite sex. If you have a survival group, it better be at least 50-50. That doesn't mean you always get along. It doesn't mean you always see things the same way. But the female mind and the male mind interpret the exact same data 100% differently. But even that idea can be predicted. Between the two of them, two people get around each other long enough, they know what to not know about each other, and they know what they're not going to understand about each other. That in itself becomes a predictable variable. This is something that AI can never figure out, and will never be able to, because it's unique to the man and the woman. And you can make it infinitely more complex if you have multiple different relationships, meaning in this particular case, it's a romantic relationship. It's a man and his wife. What if it's a a female and her brother. That's an entirely different thing. What if it's a guy and his aunt as opposed to a girlfriend, or guy and his mom, or friends, or compatriots, or coworkers? Men are men and women are women, and they will always be different. Some will be a little more alike than others, but if you decide you're going to go with like-minded across the board, this is what you will turn into. And this is why I think a lot of Hollywood uses this. The mass psychosis zombies that don't bother to question each other. They don't challenge each other. They don't say, hey, maybe we haven't seen this from the right perspective. How many of you want a mate in your life that will never challenge you? That will never tell you like it is or disagree with you openly? I know basically from I've heard and observed that women who find men who try to agree with them all the time have no respect for them. And guys, if you are looking for a woman who's going to do everything you say all the time, never challenge you, never get up in your face a little bit, never have it, you're in for a very boring life. In fact, you might bore her right into bed of a guy with blue skin and ridges on his forehead. It's one of the reasons I use this image from the Orville. Because that was the case here. It wasn't a lack of love, it was boredom. It was absolutely, she was bored to stinking death with her life. Anything different. Any different conversation, any different topic, any different ideas sometimes can become unbelievably attractive when all you've had is one thing all the time, no matter what. This is from the series Defiance. This was another interesting relationship, but I digress. Don't become this. I know this seems like a long way to go from where we started, but this is what mind control is really about. You see, when you digest the same information over and over and over and over and over again, you get caught in a feedback loop. That's why I say people go watch these other channels. Watch channels that challenge what you believe. Know thine enemy. Try to get in the mind of your enemy. See what it is that's making them tick. Why do they believe this? Well, what's the positive in it for them? See, they would love to have you believe this is reality. Because this would be comforting, would it not? To have absolutely no responsibility for your own actions. Oh, it was that guy way up in the sky with the magical laboratory and the satellites and beaming down these thoughts to me, and that's why I did this, and this, or more importantly, the reason I didn't do this, or this. See, that's the trap. That's the trap. Join us. Join us at Patreon. It's only $1 US per month. Even less if you sign up for an entire year. We do video every week, usually over there, about 30 minutes long, and it's a much deeper dive than what we do here into the details of psychology. And when the powers that be can learn to predict where you're going to go, what you're going to think, why you're going to think that, then they can control you. But your best bet is to have someone around that will challenge you when that's the case. Have someone around. Guys, make it a woman. Ladies, make it a man. Because we're wired differently. To challenge you, to keep you from getting caught in those ruts. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. If you were to translate this into the physical, it'd be the only way you can build muscle. How many of you have heard the muscle confusion principle for getting big and strong? Same thing applies in the mind. The same thing applies in the mind. The muscle confusion principle, the questioning your ideals principle and thoughts and beliefs just makes you stronger. I'll leave it there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.